Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Pete with MixBetterNow.com. Happy Mix Critique Monday. Welcome. This is October the 24th, 2016. Really fun time of year up here in the Northeast. Fall is in full swing. Weather's been a little crazy. It was like 85 degrees the other day, and today it's like 50, so a little screwy, but we got Halloween coming up. Love this time of year. I hope wherever you are enjoying your season. We have some mixes this week from submissions from Bill Carpenter, Marco Ferrari, Axel Bezzi, Christian Tapia, Jed Flora, and John Long. But I just want to mention that I have a bunch of mixes in line that are ready to go for the next couple of Mix Critique Mondays. Just because you might not see your mix that you submitted this week, they are absolutely in line. All that I do is whenever you send me a mix, I sequentially put them as I receive them, so just shoot them over, and they go into the list, and they will absolutely be featured on a future episode of Mix Critique Monday. So, yeah, we're just going to dive straight into it. This first mix is by Bill Carpenter, and the track is called Bulldozer. Here we go. All right in the beginning there, I'm hearing a little bit of hiss. Hard to say what's causing that. Go back into your mix, kind of seek and destroy. Figure out what's causing that hiss, okay? It might be something as simple as drawing a fade in on the beginning, but I'm guessing that that's the result of either the way that you track something or there's a plugin possibly with some noise on. I know like the Waves plugins have that awful analog, the 50 and 60 cycle hum thing, and to me is totally pointless. But if you have a plugin like that and you forget to turn that off, it can cause that. So just something I heard.
Expediency makes sense if you let it. Reasoning like that could mean your life. I look in vain, hope to the merciless cloudless sky. My leaves are brown.
Very cool track, kind of digging it. Very Chili Peppers kind of thing going on. I hope I don't offend anybody, by the way, when I say stuff like that. I hear stuff, it reminds me of something, and I say that in a really positive way. The vocals to me are a little bit loud. You could pull them down. The guitar is a little overtly bright, okay? Just something to be aware of. One thing I'm going to do this week, and I might do it moving forward, is I thought it would be fun. So in the Studio One mastering suite here, I can put some plugins on the master section, which will affect every track. And I've put my trusty FabFilter Pro Q2 in here. The idea being, when I hear things, I thought it would be fun to kind of give you an example of what I mean if I say, maybe cut 500 hertz on your mix bus or something like that, or kind of find the boxiness that I'm hearing and take it out. I thought it might be fun to just kind of very quickly do it, because it's essentially like I have, a mastering session set up where I can do that. So, I have a high pass filter ready to go. A low pass filter, a couple bands here. So one thing I'm going to do is I'd like to hear a little bit more low end. So I'm going to kind of play with this as I go and see if we can kind of bring out some 60 or 100 or something like that.
And my rootstock is bone dry, but I can hear a sound in the distance, and now I feel that I've got no resistance. It's gonna come and it's gonna run me down like a bulldozer. Bulldozer. It's gonna run me down. It's gonna run
Another thing that I just want to point out is I know whenever I mention using a high pass filter on your mix bus, a lot of people are like, really? Like you do that? But yeah, I think it tightens things up, and I think you can get rid of a lot of sub lows or anything you don't really need down there. So I mean, I'm high passing to 30 hertz on here, and I'm not really hearing any audible loss. So if I solo that, very little. Just something that I thought would be kind of fun to do while I was listening to these mixes. If I heard something overtly, something where I could suggest, hey, this would make a huge difference. But so far, this is sounding good, though. Maybe you could throw like a little bump around 100, I think would maybe bring out that bass a little bit more. But the bass sounds really good. I like the kick drum so far. Let's keep listening.
They're moving in closer with the ugly ravenous machines. Laying down roads where the grass used to be so green. Who is gonna stop the erosion? There's just no way to contain this explosion. It's gonna come and it's gonna run me down like a bulldozer.
The cymbals right there might be getting a little on the harsh side, so I might suggest doing something like taking a multi-band compressor, zoning in on the frequency that sounds harsh. Let me just show you real quick. I don't want to be doing too much of this because we'll never get through 6 or 7 tracks, but for example, with the Pro MB, I can set up a band. So like on the chorus, I can solo this band, which I might want to compress. So if we have some of that harshness going on, I can solo this. Let me move it back just a little bit. See here, it's what I call the presence area. So, somewhere 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K. Right now it's at 3.9K. So, you can sweep this. See right there, it sounds a bit harsh. So if I go back to the chorus again. So I'm pulling down about 6 dB on the compressor there, and if I unsolo this, I think it'll kind of soften up that cymbal crispiness. So this is in, out. Yeah, so I mean, it's just kind of softening up the guitars, which are pretty bright, and it's kind of softening up the overheads where we're getting a lot of harsh cymbal action. But just a thought, just a tip. That's something that I would do. Maybe on the drum bus if that's where the majority of it's coming from, and if you can't really pin it down and specify, I would throw it on the master bus and just go from there. Let's keep listening.
It's gonna run me down. It's gonna run me down. Your words were spinning like a cat caught in a gale. Knives that cut the cloth to take the wind out of my sails. Your words could break a bone. Your words float like a stone. Your words could run right over me.
I just want to really, really give you props on the vocal sound. I think the vocals sound fantastic, especially in that part. They're just done very well. They're recorded well. They're EQ'd well, compressed well. I'm very tasteful in terms of reverb and delay and stuff like that. So really good job on the vocals. Yeah, again, I'm just hearing a lot of that, 3K, 4K area, which seems to be just a little, I don't want to be negative and say it hurts my teeth, but it's a little bit bright. Definitely easily fixable. Definitely easily? Did I just say that? It's Monday. So what I would do is I would take a band and I would kind of look for that area. Help if I turned it on. Yeah, so right there. You hear that? That's the stuff that gets a little bit painful, so I would probably just pull something down a little bit, maybe do a broad cut, or you could notch something out, depending on however you feel it works best. But that kind of sound is what I'm talking about. There's just a little bit too much of that going on. But, like I said, it's easily fixable. You can get rid of that via EQ, multi-band compression, so fear not.
Reeling in the early evening haze, safe from the sun's derisive gaze.
Bass sounds great too.
Loose tongues are always a killer. Imagination's a surrogate filler. Who'll fix the damage once it's done? Stamping down tough on a ground that's dry and hard. Pushing for a mile when you know I only gave a yard. It's gonna take some time to repair it. Until then we'll just have to wear it. Never gonna let it run me down like a bulldozer.
Yeah, love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's like Chili Peppers and a little Thin Lizzy going on. Super, super fun track. Great rock tune. Yeah, I love the mix. Really good job on the vocals. The drums sounded great. The bass sounded great. The two things I would mainly recommend doing, I might go ahead and re-EQ the guitars and your overheads or your room mics, because the guitars just sounded a little bit bright and harsh, and the cymbals did as well. But those are easily fixable things. So really great job, Bill. Thank you for the mix submission. I appreciate it. Next up, we have a track from Marco Ferrari. I'm not sure if this is called Bananarama or Funkorama, because it was both things were in the email. But either way, Bananarama, Funkorama from Marco Ferrari. Let's check this one out. Oregon sounds awesome.
With strong legs, you must be careful if in the first time it looks so strange. Man, you can learn from what they can read that I am sure. If day by day, and if you fall, you have to stand and fight, deny your word. You're not wrong, say you're not wrong. You have to know that life is wrong. Never forget that you know the Lord.
Verse sounded really great. Intro was cool. Only thing I'm hearing on the chorus right now is I'm hearing a little bit of muddy buildup. So what I might do, grab your EQ on your mix bus. So let's take something like here, and I might get rid of, kind of, do your whole boost and sweep and see if, let's see if we can find something.
Think that your eyes never be your soul. You can see that thing, it could be so strong.
Just gonna go back to that chorus section.
Your soul that can be yours. Just someone outside.
Yeah, around 300 hertz, I think. Right there, we'll really get like that nasally kind of blanket cardboard thing. So maybe go, if you mastered this, go back to your mix, throw an EQ on your mix bus, pull out a little 300. Let's see how it sounds like.
Think that your eyes never be your soul.
Yeah, so I'm pulling out like 2 dB with a pretty broad Q, and I feel like that's cleaning it up quite a bit, where we're kind of opening up some of those low mids. Let's see how a high pass filter would be on this.
You can see that thing, it could be so strong. Forget that day, and if you fall, you have to stand and fight and now you were. You're not wrong, say you're wrong. There's someone outside that can be your home.
Yeah, that's definitely where I would kind of hit it up around 300 hertz. You could pull out a little bit there. High passing, we're not really losing much low end definition. So this is a 12 dB per octave slope. Around 30 hertz. I find that high pass filters on a mix bus or on a master, what they do is they just tighten up the bottom. For reasons that are beyond how smart I am. I don't know the scientific reason, but just the how it sounds audibly to me is we're never missing that, but it just makes it tightens up the track somehow. So just something to think about for maybe a revision or something like that. Let's keep going here in this track.
Take your time and think about it. The matter way to say before you write it. To realize that if you cry, there is a sin which until will die. A man you can learn from, but that you can read it, I am sure. Day by day,
I think the vocals sound really good, so really good job on that for sure.
You're not wrong, say you're not wrong. You have to know that life is wrong. Never forget that you're not alone. There's someone outside that can be your home. Think that your eyes never be your soul. You can see that thing, it could be so strong.
Really like this breakdown a lot.
Move up your eyes, open to find a light on. Don't shut me, doesn't matter what you hear. So clean that cries, I'm just struggling. Move up your eyes, open to find a light on. When I see the soul sleep, junking on my feet. So grab my arm, then I'll take away.
The bass is getting a little bit unruly. Maybe compress it a little bit more. You can definitely pull it down a few dB. A lot of the times with bass, it's not so much. I know I've seen a lot of people, if their bass isn't sitting where they want it, they will reach for a compressor or an EQ or something like that. But sometimes bass is a very simple thing where all it needs is a fader ride up or down, a couple dB down, a couple dB up. depending on if you need more or less. What I might suggest is, since it's the bass is a very big part of the groove of this track, like from a production standpoint, automate your bass. I know a compressor will rein it in, but if like right here I felt it building a bit, so I wanted to like pull it back. So the first thing I think, if I want volume changes, is automation. I know you've all heard me talk about automation a lot on here. So automation is it's such a big part of mixing for me. A lot of other people that I look up to as well use automation for huge effect in tracks. So, try riding that bass. There's even a plugin that Waves makes called Bass Rider, Vocal Rider, same concept. You kind of set your floor and your ceiling, and it will automatically kind of pull it down, and you can hone in on where you want it. Just something I'm thinking about while I'm hearing that particular part. But the bass tone itself sounds really good. One thing I'd really like to hear in this particular part is, you've got a guitar hard left, you've got a guitar hard right. When there's no vocal in the mix to kind of compete, like I love panning guitars when there's a vocal, because it allows every instrument to have its own place in the stereo field. But you might want to take the on my right where the solo is happening, you might want to bring it up the middle. I feel like it would have a lot more impact in this part, because the vocal's always the most important part of the song. But if you're having an instrumental track or an instrumental part of the song, then whatever instrument is kind of playing the lead part becomes the most important instrument in the track. So maybe try panning that up the middle, automate that up the middle. Then when if the vocals come back in, I assume they will, put it back out right if it's still playing that part.
Forget that you know there's someone outside that can be your home. Think that your eyes never be your soul. You can see that thing, it could be so strong. Never forget that you're not alone. There's someone outside that can be your home. Think that your eyes never be your soul. You can see that thing, it could be so strong. Bananarama.
That was awesome. Really, really dig that funk track. Kind of gives me a little, I don't know if any of you guys are into a band called Galactic, but they're out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Incredible band. They do a lot of funk tunes like that, or like Deep Banana Blackout or some kind of band like that. But yeah, really great job. I enjoyed the tune a lot. I thought the mix overall was really good. There were just a couple things that I would pretty much tweak on it. One of them being, you could throw a little high pass filter on the bottom. You could kind of get rid of a little bit of 300 for what I think, a couple panning decisions you could make. Maybe automate that bass a little bit. But overall, really great job, Marco. I enjoyed it. Funkorama, Bananarama. It was funky. Loved it. So appreciate that one. All right, so next up we have a song called Everything I Need, and this was mixed by Axel Bezzi. Let's check it out.
You live to tell me that I won't.
Right away, I'm kind of hearing, it almost sounds to me like I'm listening, like things are a little bit muffled. It's maybe some of the low mids aren't extremely clear. Let me take a peek at, let's default this out. Let's take a peek at the low mids and see if we can't hunt down something to clean it up. I'm just thinking, yeah, let's try a little high pass. I'm gonna go to the top again. Yeah, right there. You hear, okay, so 225, I'm hearing a lot of low mid build up. Check it out.
You really got what I'm made for. Dying, no my disease.
So, what I'm inferring by this is that throughout the course of the mix, maybe there wasn't enough subtractive EQ done in this range with some instrumentation. Let's see what it sounds like when I pull some of this out. Because if we listen to this soloed, right, there's that muffled sound that I'm hearing. So if I was mastering this and I was doing a little surgical EQing.
For the first time, 'cause you got the things I need.
Right, so you kind of hear that, you know, it's a little combination of boxiness and muddiness.
You live to tell me that I won. That's everything I need. Taking me down for the first time.
Let's go back to the top again. So I'm gonna bypass this in and out, and I just want you guys to listen and hear how it cleans it up a little bit.
You really got what I'm made for. Dying, no my disease.
Yeah, so to me that's very helpful. Check out something around the 200 hertz range. Just for fun, I am gonna kind of look for something maybe around 400 or 500.
You live to tell me that I won. That's everything I need. Taking me down for the first time, 'cause you got the things I need. Taking me down, don't let me down.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big improvement to me. Let's go back here. I'm going to bring it in and out. When this is orange, it's bypassed. When it is not, it is on. So take a listen.
You really got what I'm made for. Dying, no my disease.
Right, so definitely better. Like I said, take a peek at 200. Get rid of some of this stuff. And some of this. So this is your boxiness right here at 320. Right, that, like, you know, that kind of muffled thing. And then here's your mud, kind of getting rid of some of your mud, all right? Okay. Let's go back and keep listening. So 200, 320, little high pass. I think that would go a long way in that track.
You really got what I'm made for. Dying, no my disease. You live to tell me that I won. That's everything I need. Taking me down for the first time, 'cause you got the things I need. Taking me down, don't let me down, 'cause I like the things you give. Please hold on, take me higher. Please come on, I
Yeah, right there. I'm just hearing a lot of low mid build up again. I'm going to loop this. Let's see if we can't do this. Right off. You know, the other thing too is you might want to throw the guitars out a little bit wider, just because I feel like a heavy concentration of stuff coming through the middle. And you obviously want the vocal coming through the middle. You know, I can hear some vocals, some background vocals out wide. You know, maybe try widening the guitars. You know, go hard left or hard right a little bit. I'm a big fan of LCR panning. For those of you who don't know what LCR panning is that means that it's left, center, and right. So when you make a panning decision, it's either one of three things: you're hard left, straight up the middle, or hard right. I don't want to get into the psychoacoustics of why I like to do that. I think it's kind of hard to, you know, do these little panning moves and to think that it's going to get a lot of separation, because we just can't focus as humans like on that many things at one time. Our brain can't really recognize it. But like I said, I don't want to get into psychoacoustics, so I'm going to turn that off and we're going to keep going here on Everything I Need.
You're crying tears on my shoulders. I keep away from the dream. Don't try to get what's the matter of us. It's just a lady taking me down for the first time, 'cause you got the things I need. Taking me down, don't let me down, 'cause I like the things you give. Please hold.
Yeah, there's definitely a guitar straight up the middle that is competing with the vocal quite a bit, and it's cool. It's a cool guitar part, but unfortunately, it's kind of taking my attention away from the vocal, and especially in the chorus, you want your listener to be right zeroed in on the vocal. So, you know, maybe pick a side, throw the guitar out left or right, you know, and it's okay. I mean, I hear guitars out left and right on this as well, but, you know, you could do some EQ carving to kind of make, you know, two guitars, three guitars fit on one side, hard panned.
Take me higher. Please go on higher. Too good not to be alive. You're my shelter. Too good not to be alive. I'm on fire. Too good not to be alive. Too good not to be alive. I'm on fire.
All right, right there, the guitar tones are a little bit harsh in that same area that I was talking about in Bulldozer. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna actually default this. Let's put a band in and let's take a listen to that area. So right about 3.5K, all right? So if I go ahead and with a pretty aggressive attack and release, because we want to keep it compressed, I'm going to bring the threshold down here. I mean, you could hear it right there. It's harsh, softens it up like that. Let me go back a little bit. So that's bypassed. This is in. So it just softens it up a little bit there. The presence area, which to me is 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K, can even be 1.5K. That can be a very problematic area for a lot of mixes. Can be a very difficult part of the EQ spectrum to work with. The catch-22 of the presence area, and this is important. Like if you guys can take one thing away from this video today or whenever you're watching this, is the presence area is kind of it's a catch-22 because those are the frequencies, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K, 1.5K. Those are the frequencies that will allow things to poke out in front of a mix, but they're also the same frequencies that you will get harshness from and you will battle with if they're overcooked. So it's kind of like walking a tightrope with presence, in that frequency, right around here, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K. So right around this area where my mouse is right now, it can be tricky. So the key is finding enough of a way to get whatever it is you want out in front by using those frequencies to your advantage without overcooking them and making them sound harsh. Oh yeah, fade out. Right on. Axel, you've never listened to Guns N' Roses, I'm guessing, right? No. That's awesome, man. Super cool track. Very, very cool. Kind of early 90s kind of LA sound going on there. Very, very cool. Really dug a lot of the guitar work in there. I thought there was some great guitar playing. Even the vocals, I mean, to get to do a lot of those falsettos and stuff like that. So, if that's you and your band and your music, really great job, man. Mix-wise, it was a good mix as well, for sure. I would just, again, I would kind of go for some of those frequencies that we were talking about when we started, right around here, 200, 320. And also, something maybe around, something around here. The 3.5, 4K. You could always pull a little bit out on your EQ, or like I said, if you don't want to do that on the EQ, sometimes by doing that via EQ, it will make it you will kind of lose some of that excitement. That's why I like using the multi-band compressor, because when it lets go and it releases, it pushes some of that back into the audio. So so great job. Everything I need from Alex Bezel. Axel. Excuse me, Axel. I keep saying Alex, I think. Thank you for sharing your mix. Great job. Appreciate it. Next up, I think we have a Latin tune. This is a Spanish track from Christian Tapia, and this is Los Tres de Ayer, and it goes something like this. Let's check it out. Okay, music sounds really good. First thing I'm hearing when the vocals come in, the vocals are super muddy, and you can definitely get away with high passing them. Get rid of some of that mud. You can probably chop out, just by listening, I'm guessing 200 hertz, 300 hertz, 400 hertz. Look for something around there. Not much boosting is needed. If you have a muddy vocal or a boxy vocal, a lot of folks think boosting is the way to kind of remedy this, but by using subtractive EQ, by cutting and getting rid of those frequencies that are causing the mud, it will actually brighten things up because you're taking that stuff out. So would definitely say do some work on those vocals, because right away I was like, yeah, they're a little muddy for me. The other thing it could be, now, if this is one of your tracks, and you're singing, or if you're producing, one of your clients and they're in your studio, be very attentive in terms of mic placement, because proximity effect on a microphone can also cause that very muddy kind of thing. Now, I have some processing going on my mic into my rig here. I'm doing a little EQ, I'm doing a little compressing and things like that, but so I'm not going to get as much proximity effect, as you might get if you're running into, say your interface preamp or, an external mic pre and you're not doing anything on the way in. If you're close up to the mic, you can definitely get a lot of muddiness. As a rule of thumb, I always try and tell people to kind of do one of these, and you kind of always want to be around here. Unless it's something that you really want to go for up that close. I like to try and be a foot away at least. Another thing you could do is that people, whenever I track vocalists who aren't very studio savvy, who don't have a lot of experience, singing in the studio, is I will take a pop filter, your pop screen, and instead of putting it, up on the mic like this, put it however far away or however close, maximum you want them to be. You can put it on another mic stand. You can put your mic stand forward, if it doesn't reach as far. And, if you want them a foot, if you want them 2 feet, a foot and a half, whatever, set it here so that they can't really get past it. They're not going to move it. And people that move is a whole other thing, but that's just something that might help in that situation. So, I don't know what's going on. If you want to email me and let me know, that way maybe I can kind of give you a little bit more advice on it. But I like the music so far. Sounds really cool.
Sirven poco las excusas, que traiciones no hay más que dolor.
Y dime tú, si no fui yo, entonces ¿quién te trastorna los ojos? ¿Qué verbo fue que utilizó para darte lo que no te di?
Cuéntame quién fue el culpable, quién es el responsable del crimen de robarte el corazón. Cuéntame de sus promesas, cuál es su estrategia que utilizó.
Te prometo fue la misma que usé yo.
Just for fun, I'm going to see if we can get rid of some of that mud from an EQ on basically the mix bus, which is kind of what this is emulating. All right, let's take a look at when I hover the mouse over the frequencies that are showed up on the graph here. Look right around where my mouse is right now, okay? That 100, 200, 300. I'm seeing a lot of peaks around there.
¿Quién fue el culpable? ¿Quién es el responsable del crimen de robarte el corazón? Cuéntame.
So that's just telling me that we got some work to do there. If I soloed the high pass filter, you could hear a lot of sub lows, probably more than we need. Let's see if I can do a little something.
Cuéntame quién fue el culpable, quién es el responsable del crimen de robarte el corazón. Cuéntame de sus promesas, cuál es su estrategia que utilizó.
Te prometo fue la misma que usé yo.
Yeah, so that already sounds better to me. Just a couple EQ moves right there. All I'm really doing is doing a really broad cut of around 80, because, you know, like I said, I was hearing some 100, you know, lows, a lot of low buildup. So, right, that's probably where the bass fundamental is. So, let's go ahead and bypass it in and out and see if you guys can hear what I'm talking about. We'll do an auto makeup, and I'm just going to bring this in and out and take a listen. That's out.
Cuéntame quién fue el culpable, quién es el responsable del crimen de robarte el corazón.
In.
Cuéntame de sus promesas, cuál es su estrategia que utilizó.
So I'm pretty sure you can hear that from 3 cuts, doing a cut around 80, doing a cut around 200. Right here, like 200. You hear that? There's quite a bit of low-end mud buildup there. So, yeah, I mean, you could even probably do this on the mix bus, which would help. Go back to your vocals, get rid of some of the mud, get rid of some of the boxiness, see how that helps your overall mix. And then you could probably throw an EQ on your mix bus, which would definitely help you out. You know, take a screenshot of these 3 frequencies if you want. I'm doing 82, 200, and 330. And I'm also high passing at a 12 dB per octave shelf to about 30 hertz. So that's cleaning up a lot of that low end. The reason I'm advocating you to maybe look at these frequencies is, you know, if you don't feel very comfortable with EQ as a whole right now yet, you know, EQ is a very, very hard thing to kind of get a mastery of. You can write those frequencies down or take a screenshot, and then you can go in and play around and, you know, and listen and, you know, boost it. And okay, what is this doing when I push it up? What is it doing when I pull it down? So anyway, I think that would certainly help it. Let's keep going along here with Los Tres de Ayer.
Pretendiste ser violeta sin espinas en tu corazón. Pero el tiempo no revela y tu caso no.
The vocals also sound a little bit dry, so something I might do there is I might be inclined to, you know, throw some reverb or some delay on there just to wetten it up.
Cuéntame quién fue el culpable, quién es el responsable del crimen de robarte el corazón. Cuéntame de sus promesas, cuál es su estrategia que utilizó.
Te prometo fue la misma que usé yo.
Saxophone sounds awesome. Really good job. I could definitely tell it's a real sax, so really good job miking that. If you mic that up, it sounds awesome.
Cuéntame quién fue el culpable, quién es el responsable del crimen de robarte el corazón. Directo al corazón. Cuéntame de sus promesas, cuál es su estrategia que utilizó. Te prometo, fue la misma que usé yo.
Yeah. All right. Good job, Christian. Really dug that tune. No idea what's being said. My Spanish is a little rusty, but nonetheless, really enjoyed it. I think, you to get that mix out of place where it needs to be is very, very attainable. There's nothing hugely wrong with it. A couple EQ moves will certainly help you out a lot there. One more time, 80 hertz, 200 hertz, 330. Check those out. See if you can even get away with more on the high pass filter. If you can take out as much of that bottom as you can and it doesn't sound any different, or you don't feel like it's thinning it out, then by all means go for it, because if you can't hear it, you don't need it. All right. Let's default this out for the next track if it needs it. And we have a song called Big Sky North. This is mixed by Jed Flora, and here we go. Ambient intro. Really cool, like, ambient intro there. To me, the droning kind of guitar swell thing is kind of drowning out the drums and the bass a little bit. So, maybe adjust some levels unless you want them to kind of be that way. It's just a whole lot of guitar there. Let's keep going. So, sort of similarly to Los Tres de Ayer, I'm hearing a little bit of build up in the lows. I'm going to bring in a high pass. Right, so when I solo the high pass, you can really hear... You can hear that concentration of low end. Okay, so two things that I'm just really noticing that can kind of a theme today, I guess, but build up in the low mids. So we got some mud going on. We could take a listen. So around 90 here. Sounds like where the bass fundamental is to me. Could mean that the bass is too loud. Could mean that the bass wasn't EQ'd enough, compressed enough. It's possible. So I'm cutting a little bit of that to kind of tame it. And then this area right here, 170. Hear that? It's just like a something kind of like that. So maybe a nice wide cut there. And then this right here is going to be your boxiness around 300. You hear that? That cardboard sound? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it up and I'll bypass this in and out, and I hope you can hear what it's doing. Off. That's on. Because there's a lot of guitars, some thick, dense guitars, which can create a little bit of a difficulty to get separation, especially when you're using effects. You have ambient delays and ambient reverbs going on. Those things can get muddy if they're not EQ'd properly. You know, if you're not EQing your reverbs and delays, and especially like, you know, if you're micing up your amp and you're using your pedals on your pedal board, so you're going in with the effects off of your pedal board as opposed to putting effects on in your DAW, it can be a little bit tough to sort of suck some of that mud out. You know, at the source, okay? So what I would do is just do some broad cuts, just getting rid of some of this mud here. The other thing is I was noticing a little bit of a buildup, you know, 3K, 5K. That thing. So that's about 3.5K, and as you can hear, when I solo the band, you know, it's kind of one of those like T30 frequencies. So again, you can notch it out, or you can use a little multiband compression. You can also use a dynamic EQ, which is essentially a multiband compressor anyway. But I think just doing those two moves would be great. Let's back up in this track so we can listen to a little bit more while I was doing those EQs. Yeah, as a guitar loving nerd myself, as a guitar player, that was super fun to listen to. Probably super fun to play as well. I love kind of nerding out and going deep into your timeline or your Big Sky or something like that. But thank you for that, Jed. Really cool track. Not often to get an ambient kind of instrumental like that, so that was very, very fun to listen to. It's tough when you have a lot of guitars, affected guitars, bass. For me, the drums were buried a little bit, and they were a little muffled sounding, so I would have loved to have heard more drums. It's not really like a sacrifice, like I have to pull down the guitars, or we'll hear less guitars. For the drums, it's more of a balance. It's more of a dance that you can kind of create with EQ, with compression, and being conscious of like every step of the way. Like, okay, I'm on my drum bus. How does the drum kit sound as a whole? And then if you can pinpoint certain things on the kit that are giving you issues, be it the overheads, the kick, snare, rim mics, whatever they may be, you can kind of go in and treat it that way. But cleaned it up a little bit with some mix bus EQing. You can take out some of those, some of that 3.5K that gets a little built up and a little harsh sounding there. I think with a little more EQing and compressing to the guitars, and kind of finding more places for them to sit in the mix. It sounded to me like I heard guitars just on the whole spectrum. Which is cool, but it just kind of makes them hard to pick out. It almost sounds washy, and I know I say this every week. I say none of this stuff, with any malintent. And this is all because I want you guys to all, learn as much as you can. I want you all to be mixing the best possible mixes that you can do right now at this moment in time. And I want you to learn, and I want you to improve your mixes, and I want you to think about all this stuff for the next mix that you sit down and do. So, in no way do I say these things for any other reason except that I want you guys to learn, and I just want to help out. And if there's anything that I don't touch on or that is unclear that I say in this, definitely shoot me an email. But thank you so much, Jed. That was Jed Flora's mix of Big Sky North. Very, very cool. Last one up, we have a track called The Dice, and the mix is from John Long. Here we go. Bass is a little bit loud, and the drums are a little bit buried to me right now. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of build-up around 100, where I'm guessing the bass fundamental is. The bass is a little kind of overbearing there. You might want to notch some of that out or bring the bass down. See right here, you can kind of hear it when I solo the band. Just... And it's a little bit undefined there, so one thing you can do, just give it a little relief with a little notch. I've also gone ahead and high passed a little bit, because all that's below there is just subs that you're not going to hear, and they're not going to help the mix. Taking out a little 200 as well. Right, you're hearing a little mud, verging on the boxiness right there. I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing the lead vocalist, the female vocal, and even the background vocal. They just seem a little bit buried to me. Let me keep listening. There's some kind of effect. I don't know if it's like a chorusing, like a Dimension D, even like a stereo slap with a really short time. You know, like a 40 millisecond kind of thing. It's a strange kind of setting that's kind of throwing my listening experience off. What happens is if you have a short an effect with, you know, be it a delay with a short time or a chorus, it's not pushing the vocal that far back in the mix. So what it does is it keeps the vocal up front a little bit more, which isn't always the you know, the most desirable thing for a vocal to sit well in a mix. Cool breakdown, like it a lot. Just gonna throw this out there. The drums sound pretty thin. And it sounds like it's a real kit, so I would maybe check the phase on your drums. That could be part of what's making them sound thin. Of course, you know, it could be the way they were tracked as well, but the phase is just a little. It could be part of the problem here. I'm hearing a lot of bass. I want to hear more drums, and I would love to hear a little bit of a longer effect on the vocal. right. Cool. Love the variety of mixes today. We had a bunch of different stuff, which is always super fun to listen to. And I think it's advantageous for everyone else who watches these, who didn't submit a mix, because you get to kind of hear a nice variety of music. And the thing that I find amazing is it doesn't matter the genre, it doesn't matter, the same fundamental problems plague all of us, everyone at some point, regardless of what you do. But at the same time, listen, as a whole, every week you guys impress me with your mixes. John, thank you for that. That was John Long mixing the dice. So John, just go ahead, listen to some of the suggestions that I had there for you. Definitely try and get that bass under control. Get rid of some of the low, that low end buildup you had, and then, maybe check the phase on the drums. Maybe tweak some of the lead vocal effects. Definitely will get you on your way, get you going. Big thank you to Bill Carpenter, Marco Ferrari, Axel Bezzi. I don't even have my glasses on. Hang on. I don't want to butcher this. Axel. I think it's Bezel. Yes. Bezzi? Bezel? Hang on. I think it's Bezel. I'm really sorry, Axel, if I got that wrong, if I typed that in wrong, but I think it's Axel Bezel. You're the man, Axel. I appreciate you, bud. We had Los Tres de Ayer from Christian, Tapia, Big Sky North, Jed Flora, The Dice, John Long. Thank you all so much. I just want to reiterate, if you guys want any free mix critiques, by all means, send them in. Shoot me an email, pete@mixbetternow.com. Shoot me an email with your name, the name of the track that you mixed, and just make sure it's a downloadable MP3 or a downloadable WAV file, so that I can load it up into the session here. And that's really it. It will go into a list, into a queue, sequentially, first come, first serve, and they're just kind of all hanging out. And if I don't get to them next week, I'll get to them the following week, so on and so forth. So fear not, I will absolutely get to your mixes. All right, so that's it for me. My name is Pete with MixBetterNow.com. This has been another Mix Critique Monday, October the 24th, 2016. Another fantastic round of mixes. I applaud you all. Thank you so much for sending them in. I hope everybody has an awesome, awesome week, and I will catch you guys next Monday with another installment of Mix Critique Monday. Later.